One Piece chapter 1020, Robin versus Black Maria. How can I really describe this chapter? I would say more than anything, the vibes of this chapter were different. It was almost refreshing, almost nostalgic. And I absolutely loved just how it was received by everyone else. But for the most part, I'm seeing positive comments, even though in comparison to some of the more explosive chapters, it was pretty tame, but it felt special. We'll elaborate later. So if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, drop a like as well. And without further ado, let's talk about this fantastic, subtle, good to great chapter that was drenched in nostalgia. Is it a Robin thing? A Brook thing? I guess we'll talk about it. The cover page. Pretty straightforward. We have Denjiro. He's dreaming about eating giant shrimp, but he's actually chewing on his wig or weave or whatever the hairpiece is. There's definitely never a lack of creativity in One Piece, so that's cool. So we'll start with Kaido versus Yamato because that was the beginning of the chapter. We get a reveal. Yamato's devil fruit is the Makami. It's the dog fruit, and it is confirmed to be a mythical zone fruit. Now, I've been seeing a lot of Makami lore throughout the comment section, and there's people talking about how it's connected to Yamato. In lore as well, it is a deity and a guardian and symbolic for protection. So Oda is definitely doing his research before he does these things. We knew that though, but it makes so much sense. Now, as cool as it was getting Yamato's devil fruit, the actual name, because of what it represents and what it means, because Kaido even said the Makami is Wano's guardian deity. It then leads us to believe that Yamato could probably stay in Wano. Yamato has said that she wants to leave Wano, she wants to travel with Luffy, but would it make sense? Do we need Yamato to join the crew at this point, especially based off of how strong she seems to be? Something that's interesting, right? Because Kaido, the goal was not for Yamato to eat the fruit. Now she has the Makami, which is Wano's guardian deity, which I'm not sure if Kaido got the fruit because it was the Makami, meaning he got the fruit because he was going to give it to someone to eat who was going to protect Wano. But now it begs the question, did Kaido always plan for Yamato to take over for Orochi? Or did he have someone else in mind to take over, someone that he had planned to eat that devil fruit, to take over for Orochi and protect Wano, or stay in his stead overseeing Wano? So now with Yamato eating this devil fruit, is he saying, it's your job now, you ate that fruit, you have to do it? Did he pivot for that reason? So those are things we have to explore. But I don't want to move away from Yamato actually staying in Wano yet, because I think it's really important. Something that people struggle with is connecting with Yamato because we don't know Yamato. Of course, what we know about her is the fact that she wants to be Odin. And this somewhat pipe dream, which is completely unrealistic because you cannot be someone else. All you can be is yourself. One Piece is about lessons we learn along the way, so we all anticipate that she will learn that lesson and come to her senses and try to be her own self. I think it was King Recon who mentioned or made a video about Luffy. Someone is going to try to say that he's Joy Boy or Nika, the Sun God, and he's going to completely reject it. So Yamato will see Luffy rejecting these preconceived identities placed upon him and then going and unequivocally being himself. She will see, okay, maybe I should try to be Yamato as opposed to being Odin. I can inherit Odin's will without trying to be him. And more than likely, there'll be more fulfillment in life that way. Not sure if she rebels and still goes with Luffy because she may not want to follow the guidelines that Kaido's placed on her just because she ate that fruit, saying, hey, I'm Wano's quote unquote guardian deity, but I'm going out to sea because that's what I want to do. Kaido mentioning Orochi being a tyrant was interesting because now we somewhat see the plan. Orochi was never the long-term plan. And that's why I mentioned, okay, was Yamato always going to be the person to take over for Orochi, or did he have a plan for someone else? Quickly on Yamato's strength, I think it's wildly impressive that she's hanging with Kaido for this long. She has to hold on until Luffy gets back up there. Luffy still has to find some meat to get back up there. So she's been fighting for quite a while and she's doing a decent job. Of course, she looks a bit more beat up than Kaido does, but that's Kaido and she's matching his blast breath with her own attack. Not gonna try to power scale her right now, just acknowledging that Yamato looks very powerful and wildly impressive. Give her props and her kudos, but then I can't help but think, should she really join the crew? Because what she's doing right now is matching what Luffy was doing. I'm not saying she's stronger than Luffy, but the argument can be made that she's stronger than Zoro. I still don't think Kaido's going all out. He's seemingly trying to talk her down a bit. So he's pretty much just knocking her around a little bit, trying to make her come to her senses and not particularly going for blood. That's what it seems like to me. As we move to the next scene, Brook and Robin versus Black Maria and friends. Oda definitely pulled on our heartstrings a little bit, showing Olvia, Professor Clover, and even Saul. And while reading the scene, I felt like I was watching a movie, right? Where something traumatic is happening and I'm hoping that the character does not act the way that the transpiring events would want them to act. I'm hoping that this character has some common sense to realize that is not real. And Nico Robin did not disappoint. Nico Robin has been alone for so long. So seeing these people that she cared about so dearly, just right in front of her, it shows you just the immense pain that she's gone through and how far she's come to the point that she can see them and look past the illusion. A lot of Nico Robin's actions is typically based on logic. Logically, this should happen. Logically, we should proceed this way. Yes, being with the Straw Hats has altered that because a lot of times it's like, okay, we don't have a great chance to win, but hey, we're gonna believe in Luffy. And later in this chapter, it shows just how far she's come in regards to falling in line as a Straw Hat. And she was the final piece. I think she's the final person who hasn't really said that line or a variation of it. So that was really cool. But for Brook and Nico Robin, it seems like they tried the illusion thing. For them, being alone for so long, they dreamt so many times of their family and friends. So I guess they have embedded memories of these people. So now trying to create these fake, false memories of them, you can't impede those memories. Those are set in stone for Nico Robin and Brook. So those illusions, they would never work on these particular characters. I thought this entire sequence with Nico Robin and Brook and Black Maria, even the man-faced pug, very creative. It felt like a wild ride, but it was somewhat grounded because it's Nico Robin and Brook. But what made me chuckle is just how little Black Maria knows of the Straw Hats. Yes, I think a lot of the Straw Hats and the perceptions is commonly misplaced, right? Even for Chopper's bounty, Sanji, Zoro, even Luffy as a character. Where people have this perception of Luffy, then they meet him, then they're like, you know what? I don't think this kid is who we thought he would be. Then he completely blows them away because he then exceeds the preconceived notions based on his bounty. So they come in and they expect a 1.5 billion bounty man. And then they see him, then they say, well, he looks like he should probably have 100 or 200 million berry bounty. He's a small kid. Then Luffy does something throughout the entire arc. Then they're like, you know what? He probably lives up to that 1.5 and even exceeds it. But Oda did somewhat of an indirect callback by having Black Maria mention what Sanji did. So Black Maria not having context of the Straw Hats. She has no idea what Nico Robin went through, what Sanji went through, what they all went through to get to where they are right now. So for Nico Robin, that gesture by Sanji was so appreciated. The Straw Hats understand the gesture, but the outsiders, they think it's lame. They're like, he's crying and begging for help from this woman. He's a lame guy. Black Maria even tried to throw in Nico Robin's face the fact that she's a burden to the Straw Hats, where she felt that way already in the past, but she's overcome that. She understands if people do come after me, I have strong friends that will protect me. She said those words verbatim. So Black Maria, she's trying tactics that probably would have worked pre-Enies Lobby. Now Nico Robin is solidified as a Straw Hat. She's the embodiment of that. Yes, all the Straw Hats are different for the most part, but they have a common theme. They believe in Luffy and they will follow Luffy to the end of the world. Literally. But she echoed the sentiment, where Black Maria thought she struck a nerve, but Nico Robin is saying you will never understand, right? Just how much it meant for him to rely on me, just like she relied on them to save her from this mental prison that she was in for so long, but she had to trap herself in it because that's how she survived. That's how she made it out of all the trials and tribulations, the trickery, the distrust. She understands that. Now she's a different person. But she also mentioned the wings of the Pirate King, right? Sanji being one of those wings, which we're not going to talk about just how it dispels all of the preconceived bullshit that people were applying to Sanji and applying to the Straw Hats, applying to the Monster Trio. Hopefully we're past that, but I thought that was such a beautiful thing to say, and people were talking about a reference to SBS Volume 73, where Oda talks about Zoro and Sanji being the backbones and being the two men, very reliable, trustworthy wings that will help Luffy become the Pirate King. And Nico Robin is echoing again those sentiments. I thought that scene in particular with Nico Robin and Brook and the callback to Sanji, so damn good. It's really damn good, especially in retrospect, having context, even going back and looking at some Enies Lobby scenes, how far Sanji's come in Whole Cake Island. It's all wrapped up into a very neat bow that you enjoy so damn much. I loved it. Tokage Port. Luffy is now back. Well, he's not all the way back, but he's trying to get meat. He needs some meat to recover. There's a lot I could say about this scene, but I think more than anything, what struck out to me, other than Caribou, is Luffy has been an intricate part of Momonosuke's development. From the day that Momonosuke met Luffy, Luffy has not only, he's broken him down, right? Telling him like it is about himself, but he's also built him up. He's building him up directly or indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally, by him just being Luffy, Momonosuke is becoming a better leader, a lot more brave, and he's been transforming before our very eyes. We talk about Momonosuke and his development all the time, and this time is no different. Just Luffy's charisma and how he's delicately pushing Momonosuke beyond his limits time and time again, to the point that Momonosuke is starting to believe in himself with the Chondro thing, where he said, you know what? Yes, I can do this. I can get away. So now Luffy's saying, hey, Momo, I need you to get me back to Onigashima. And again, Luffy's pushing him beyond his limits because that's what he's used to. That's all he knows. Whatever needs to be done, he will do. What Caribou will do, we probably should talk about that in a separate video. But for right now, it seems like Caribou is going to acquire so much information, right? But he'll never get to use it. That's my theory on Caribou. I think he could probably get Luffy some meat because Luffy's success is tied to his freedom. So right now he's rooting for Luffy because he has vested interest. A very, very, very good chapter. So many references, so much nostalgia, great pacing, great spreads. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But guys, give me your thoughts. How did you feel about this chapter? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel like it didn't compare to the previous chapters? Or if you did, what was your favorite part of the chapter? What resonated the most with you? But guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.ace. Guys, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.